Hello, welcome back to FUNDAY Chat. I am Wade.
And this is Johnny.
So, Johnny, something big happened this morning.
Oh, I think that was a doozy, This morning, I was scared to death.
Yeah, so today's date is...
What date is today? I don't remember.
It is April 3rd.
Yeah, April 3rd.
Okay, so what happened this morning at 8 a.m.?
Yeah, I think this day will go down in history forever in Taiwan because there was in 8 a.m., 7:58 to be specific.
Yes.
There was a huge earthquake, magnitude 7.3.
7.2.
7.2
magnitude. magnitude.
Yeah,
Yeah,
in
and
Taiwan.
this is apparently one of the biggest earthquakes after 25 years.
After 25 years. So
Yeah.
what was the previous one?
So the previous one,
September 21st.
921.
921地震. It happens that my birthday is on March 31st.
Wait, your own birthday?
My birthday. Okay, my name is.
You're confused.
Okay.
Yeah. Who are you again?
Yeah, I don't know.
应该是脑震荡 because I know
concussion.
it was very...
My birthday is on March 31st. And
oh, it was?
March 31st.
It just went by.
Yeah.
Oh, happy belated birthday, man. Oh, we didn't know that. What are you, like 50 now?
15. It was also an earthquake. Do you know that?
There was an earthquake on your birthday?
Yeah, March 31st. Several years ago. It was also a birthday. And also one of my best friends in college, his birthday is on September 21st.
Wow. So that's a day that he will never forget.
And Ting, our manager?
Yeah.
Ting's birthday is also on September 21st.
Oh.
Yeah. So
wow. Well, that's a day that we'll easily remember. So for those who don't know, even though probably most of us obviously know what happened in September 21st, can you just tell us and describe what it was like? Because I was still pretty young. I think I was 6 years old.
You were 6 years old?
Yeah, I was only 6.
I was 5.
What does that make me, 51? No, how old were you?
You're so quick. You're so quick.
You were older, right? You're
yeah,
teenager?
I'm older. At that time, I think I was a college student, a freshman. Yeah,
so you probably remember it pretty clearly.
Actually, yeah. At that time, because at that time it was like in the middle of the night.
Yeah.
And at 1 a.m. So I was like shaken awake by my parents saying that, okay, hey, wake up because there is an earthquake. And I was still rubbing my eyes saying, what happened?
Dreaming, what's going on?
Yeah, what happened? Oh, there's an earthquake. Oh, and go back to sleep. And the other day when I woke up, I said, okay, wow, that was huge. Because a lot
serious?
of
Wait,
collapsed.
So you just went back to sleep?
Yeah, I went back because it's 1 and the next day I have to go to school, right? So
obviously they canceled school and everything.
So what did you do after that?
Well, I remember I slept in a room with my sister. We had bunk beds. And I remember I don't really have all the memory, but I remember my parents rushing into our room and then covering us. Oh. And then I just remember we had water outside from our window.
Did you feel the bonding at that specific moment that, if it was the end of the world, my father will cover me?
Is that what you think when you're a 6-year-old? I don't know. I don't know what I was
It's kind
thinking.
of it's kind of a scenario running through me.
I mean,
because at that time, this morning, my daughter was beside me.
Okay.
Yeah, she was late to school.
Oh, yeah, so your daughter was with you and she was scared?
Yeah, she said, "Oh, Daddy, what should we do?" And
what did she say?
I was lying in bed. What the?
You're even more terrified than your daughter.
I was only just swearing, a lot of swear words.
Bad example. Bad example. No.
I didn't know what to do.
I remembered. Okay, and before we go any further, today later on we're gonna reveal to the audience what to do in an earthquake situation. So do stay tuned to the end so we can give you some guidance there.
Okay.
But I remember in 921, my parents came into the room and then they covered us. And I remember because we had a pool outside the house, we could see.
Well, you have a pool outside.
Well, we could see the water literally going waves.
Just like the one.
Did you guys see that video? I don't know if people saw it online yet.
The
chillest uncle. There's this video going online and I'm sure it's still going around. But this grandpa was just in the pool and the water's going around.
It was like a free service, wave making.
He was on a rooftop pool. It looks like one of the hotels.
What is the name of the hotel?
If I looked at it correctly, I think it's Xinhua Regent Hotel.
I'm going to make a reservation.
That uncle dude was just going around and just chilling. And then the people just recording him. I was like,
you should have given it a BGM or
that was some pretty wild action. But so 921 was actually a 7.3 magnitude earthquake.
Yeah.
And the reason why that one seemed even more intense than what we experienced this morning was because it actually hit the ground. So it hit our actual land. And so that was like the devastation was way worse.
You mean the epicenter
was actually on land. Yeah.
Okay. So, whereas this one was
off the coast of Hualien.
Okay.
Yeah. So imagine that, like it was a 7.2, so not even that far, away. It was still a pretty powerful earthquake, but fortunately it wasn't on ground and therefore the damage wasn't as bad. But you've seen many videos, right?
And what's worse is that, the weather forecast predicting that there is another huge one.
An aftershock?
Aftershock magnitude, there will be like 7 to 8 magnitude.
That's crazy because...
And my question is, why do they call it an aftershock, which is scaled as 7 to 8 magnitude?
Well, because I'm assuming...
What kind of amplitude is that? What kind of aftershock is that?
I'm assuming after the first one that hits, anything after that is considered the aftershock. Although I did hear in the midnight, Yilan County was also hit. Jiayi, was also hit with an earthquake of maybe magnitude 3.
They got a head start.
Yeah, so technically theirs would have been the first, and then the aftershock would have been what we experienced. But
and also, someone took the picture on the street the night before and last evening, saying, "Wow, the cloud is so beautiful! Wow, what a view! What a sighting is that? Beautiful cloud." Because
little did they know,
red. The cloud was color, in red color.
So it was a warning.
Yeah, there's warning. It's like 火烧云.
Wow.
Kind of like a precaution for an earthquake.
Yeah, so it happened, and I remember like for me this morning, because you were with your family.
With my daughter,
you were just like cussing and like saying all sorts of bad words.
What the F word? What the F word? What the F word?
Okay, calm down. I was by myself. I was just like, because like I was like faintly awake. I had like woken up a little bit earlier. I went to go like to the bathroom and then I came back and then I fell asleep again. And then like I just started feeling like this. And then I opened my eyes and I could see like it was shaking proper. Now I'm on the 3rd floor of our house. So I was like feeling the building. But I don't know, like in previous times when earthquake had taken place, I was a little bit more nervous. This time around, I don't know, I had a sense of peace.
Wow.
I don't know why, but I was just like very calm. And then once it stopped, then I went out to look at looked at all the furniture, looked at the house, and like went downstairs to check in on my family, and everyone was safe. So I'm very grateful for that. But then news were coming out, right? We started to see the videos and we started to see all these pictures, and that was like pretty scary.
My wife at that time, she was driving a car on the bridge.
Wow.
And, we just changed our car. We bought a new one. Yeah, because she's a sales rep at Audi. Yeah. And yesterday she just got a new car and she said, what happened to this new car? It was like shaking on the bridge. And
you mean while she was driving?
Yeah, while she was driving, what kind of a lazy car is this, And later she realized that, all other cars on the bridge are also shaking, trembling. So
yeah, I saw the video of the people on the bridge, like people on their scooters and stuff, and everyone's just like trying to hold on tight.
And did you check out the footage on the what is that
MRT?
MRT, yeah. 文湖线那个.
Yeah, the lady that was holding on and she was like first standing and then later on she started to go down. I think she's gonna be famous because like everybody like knows, everybody was watching and resharing that video. But it's pretty crazy because even as we were speaking, I think we were feeling some tremors and aftershocks here.
There will be, I think there are like around 30 to 40 aftershocks today.
Yeah, which is pretty crazy that after an earthquake takes place, like there's all these aftershock that happens.
I have never experienced this kind of like earthquake before.
Not even during my, over the course of my 44 years.
Wow. That you would like to pinpoint.
Oh, 44, huh? Okay.
44 years.
So you're not 50, but you're close. 6 years away.
Yeah, almost. Yeah, so it's really, really, one of a kind. Earthquake.
Yeah. So when it comes to earthquake, like it really, I think, shakes you up. And I'm saying that not just like in the physical aspect that we get shaken up, but also like, I think it reminds you how fragile life is and how we're not really in control of our lives.
Yeah, I think that's also beneficial to people who suffer from depression as well, because for some people they suffer from depression. They sometimes they got bogged down by some trivial details or by some unnecessary negative thoughts. But come to think of your life in this way: if the world were to end the next second, were you still willing to be bogged down by some unnecessary or hair-splitting issues?
Yeah, so I will say, like depression is a sensitive topic and a lot of people go through it and it's a real thing. So we don't make light of that. But I do think the perspective you're bringing,
I think that can help us, keep things into perspective.
Even just regular people like us on a day-to-day where we go about our day and we're just like, we take our life for granted. We just assume that we'll have another day. We'll assume we'll have another week. We make plans. But really, you don't know when something big like this can happen, and then life completely derails. And so I think like this is a good wake-up call to remind us like to appreciate life, to really make the most.
What will you do? Like,
no, for me, honestly, I keep reminding myself to have this mindset. So anytime that I have the opportunity to really do what I love or do things with people I love, I really take that opportunity and I make the most of that. So I think really, for example, spending time with your family.
So will you say I love you to your family, every day from now on?
Obviously, we should remind our families and we should tell them as often as we can.
Okay.
I can't guarantee I say it every day, but to my family, I love you guys. Okay.
Okay, that makes two of us. I love you and my family.
Oh, you love your family. I thought you were loving my family. I'm like, you don't know my family.
Yeah, because your family, you have swimming pool. I don't have swimming pool outside my house.
See,
I love your family.
Problem is you're always missing the point.
I need a cande.
You're always missing their point. But let's get to the point of what do we actually do when it comes to an earthquake? What's the proper procedure? So you remember back in the day when you were in school and maybe you would always encounter earthquakes. Like what's the procedure? What do you guys used to do?
If you're indoors, you have to run for cover, like hide under a table or something to cover your head.
Yeah.
And do not run outside immediately.
Yes.
And just try to keep calm, cool, calm, collected. Do not take the elevator.
Yeah. Yeah.
So and open the door first. Yes. You have to open the door on the before it's out of shape.
Yeah. Because in case it breaks down and something like covers it up. So there's 3 basic steps for people to remember.
Okay, fill us in.
When you're experiencing an earthquake indoor, number 1, drop. So drop to the ground.
Oh, not drop something from
Don't drop
upstairs
because things are obviously falling, right? So drop. So these are 3 words that we'll use to like help us remember. Number 1, drop. So you drop to find cover, like you said. Number 2, cover. So you're trying to drop down. You get to under a cover, a desk, something strong that's sturdy. And then 3, hold on. So you're not holding on for dear life, but what you're trying to do is you're trying to stay close to the ground and you're holding on to, say, for example, the table or whatever you're hiding under to steady it. So those are 3 steps that you try to do if you're in indoor spaces. And just like you said earlier, don't try to run out during the earthquake because while things are shaking, things can be falling. Most of the deaths that took place during 9/9/11 was when people, as a result of people, many obviously because of collapsed building, but many times people are running out and they had things fall on them and they had hurt themselves. So it's important to make sure that you do these 3 things. And then when the earthquake stops, they encourage us to always have an evacuation bag. Do you have something like that at home?
Oh, the evacuation bag.
Yes.
Oh no, like the first aid kit.
Yeah, kind of like a first aid. So what you want to do is you always want to prepare like an evacuation bag where you have water, you have like some cash, you have like important things that you can use.
My father just kept reminding us about you have to check that whether there is a leak in your gas pipe.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because for today, there are so many tremors, right? So many earthquakes. So you have to check, especially for like old apartments, you have to check whether there is a gas leak.
Yes. So that's also an important aspect. But going back to the evacuation bag, you need to make sure that you have these bags quick. So you make sure you have it quick access so that when you're getting out, when you're leaving, you can immediately grab the bag when it stops and then you can make for an exit.
There's also one thing that can show that today is more serious than before because a lot of bottles had fallen into my toilet.
Bottles.
Yeah, the bottles like this, the deodorant.
Oh.
And like shampoo bottles just fall into that specific toilet.
And then you flushed it?
Yeah. No. Thank God there was no poo-poo inside.
Okay. But in all seriousness, earthquakes and things like this, we don't know when they happen. So make sure that when they do happen, that you know these safety procedures. Because again, it applies differently when you're outside, when you're inside. I mean, a lot of people experience the earthquake during the drive. A lot of people experiencing during an elevator. So make sure you are well trained, and just so you have in mind what to do when something like this happens. Because many of us, we don't really know how serious it can get, right? Today, both of us, we laid in bed and we were just like, okay, this is happening. And you were just swearing. I'm just like chilling. But like, we don't know when the building might collapse, like what had happened in Hualien, right? So it's important for us to make sure that when this situation comes about, that we make sure we take the right precaution. And so that way we can stay safe, and then we can all
stay safe. Right. I think, that's the gist of it.
Alive.
Yeah. Stay alive.
Yeah.
You never know what will come first, tomorrow or the end of the world, right?
So appreciate your life today, and we are grateful that we can do this podcast.
Yeah, appreciate that we can have a chance to do this podcast.
Johnny made it to work because he wasn't going to come to work today, but we're glad you made it. And yes, a huge shout out to all those people who are the first aid people, first responders, because we appreciate the work that they do, and even all the bystanders who go out there, to help. I saw a lot of people, Lu Ren was just walking around, going to buildings, assisting people. So we just,
there are a footage in which the nurses, they are taking care of some babies in the baby center, recuperation center, and they were taking care of the baby pretty well, even though they are scared.
No, so we appreciate all the people who put their lives in the front to support and protect others. So. Well, we hope you learned something during this episode, and
I hope there will be no major earthquake.
And hope everyone stays safe. Yes.
Okay.
All right. We'll see you next time.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.